Welcome to the Posh Podcast. Rena, welcome. You had said before we started recording, it's been a big day for you. Your little had surgery this morning. And so I so appreciate you still being willing to show up for us today.
Of course. This was his second year surgery. And so he was a champ. And they were just removing the tube that had done its job. So it took all of like 10 minutes, which was amazing because I was anxious. He was anxious and I was like, it's going to be fine. It's fine. Everything's good. And inside I'm like, me too, bud. Me too.
We see you on screen. You're either Rena 911 or Rena Solancy. Tell us when you are not on Posh. Who are you outside of Rena Solancy?
Yeah, so I literally thought about this question and I was like, that's a great question. Let me think about that. And so I was saying to Lisa before like we started recording that this was a real good therapy for me. Like, who am I outside? And so I wrote a bunch of notes. I did not bring my scribble notes in here because you would see like how my brain works and it is chaotic. So yeah, so I'm really excited to be here. I'm obviously and honestly, like always, just a little nervous. I still get imposter syndrome. And so just being invited on the podcast, I'm like, me? Why me? I'm new. Like I say to everyone, like, I'm just a little potato in this big bag of Five Guys fries. Everybody likes that. So I just keep it up. But yeah, so I feel like, why me? And so, but I keep reminding myself because I try to remind others that we have to push out those imposter syndrome thoughts. And so I think that is the key. So I'm talking myself through the fact that obviously you guys want to hang out. There's 29 of you that want to hang out. So I'm happy that you're here and I'm excited to tell you a little bit about me without crying. I mind you, I will not cry today. One thing, I want to share up front, which I think I talk about a little bit in my shows, is my brain works a little bit differently. I am super and diagnosed when I was in second grade with ADD. So I'm a big picture thinker. I'm very heart and emotionally led. My brain runs faster than my mouth can. And so I jump around a lot because sometimes my mouth can't catch up to all of the things that are happening in my head. But I care deeply about like what I care about. And so sometimes those emotions take over and I just word vomit. So pre-apologizing for the edits there. When I wrote down my notes on who I am, I wrote a wife, a mother, a daughter, a friend, a community member. And I hope that I am like successful and kind and loving and all of those things. I want to, this is the part where I cry. I want to be the best mom in the whole world that I can be, specifically for my boys, right? Maybe not the best mom in the world for other people's children, but for my boys. I want to raise them to be kind and empathetic. And I have a really sweet story to tell you about Anderson today, which I will. So right now that's like my big heavy focus is being the best parent, and parenting is hard. Like going through life is hard. We're all doing this for the first time, no matter what age we are. Right. I still tell people that I'm 30. And so we'll keep that there. So yeah. Okay. So mom, wife, daughter. Yes. Okay. And then I'm a deep feeling empath. So just all things weigh heavy on me. I feel what other people are feeling. And I think people say that sometimes, and maybe they're not to the full extent, but they do feel that. So whatever empathic level you are, I feel that also. And then I feel like it's very, very heavy. So just like the weight of the world sometimes weighs on me. But I also think that it's an amazing and wonderful gift. My mom told me that it was a gift since I was little. And I think that helped me really just through my life, build confidence and know that I was made exactly the way I was supposed to be made. But really what brings me joy is connection with people and like making people happy and making people feel as worthy as they are. I love, I don't know, I just love making people happy. Like I can feel other people's emotions. So even if they're not the happiest, but they're still happy, I can say, oh, I could do this to make them happier. At church the other day, I was wearing a smiley face sweater, of course, like I do. And I we did the sign of the peace or whatever. We all shook everybody's hands, kiss babies, all the things during that time of church. And a guy came up and I shook his hand and I was like, "How you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been better." And I was like, "Well, does my sweater make you happy?" And he's like, "Wow, that's a wonderful response. It does make me happy. It's my favorite color." And so I don't know, that just brings me so much joy. And I have been that way my whole life. I love connecting with people. Whenever I was in high school, I had a Volkswagen Bug that said, "All you need is love," in big bold letters all across the back of it. I've just always been a peace, love, and happiness hippie child. And maybe back then it was more naive. I was more naive about the world. And so it was easy to be peace, love, and happiness, and everything is sunshine and rainbows. And as we all know, when we grow up, things happen in our life to kind of like jade us. But I've worked really hard to try to stay positive. And my sign on the wall says, "Believe there is good in the world." Oh, I'm a crybaby. And the part that's highlighted says, "Be the good." And I really believe that, like, if we do that, if we are the good in the world, it's way easier to believe that there's good in the world. So I try to like find that high school Rena a lot of the times and be like, let's just like spread as much love as we can. So anyways, that's me. Because the world weighs heavy on me, I'm very intentional about protecting my peace. So the internet can be a wonderful and amazing place, but it also can be a terrible and divisive and polarizing place. And so, and very overwhelming. What surprised me is Posh felt very different. It felt like real connection, conversations, community, and it felt like a safe and positive place. And that really mattered to me and was really exciting.
I know, like going through high school or even being in the workforce or putting yourself out there on Posh, it can be really difficult to be ourselves because you just never know how people are going to receive you. And like you said, the internet and people can be really unkind. And I love the space that you have created, that you are truly yourself. You put yourself 100% out there, and you act in a way that is true to you without regard of how other people are perceiving you in the best way. I think you have that empathy and you're caring for others, but you said, "This is me and my goal is to make you happy." So take in all of the happy. And so I say all of that to say, like, you're this little baby potato on Posh. And so, I'd love to hear a little bit more of how you went from just being a mom, and I think you have like a full-time corporate job or a full-time job as well, into being this grand, beautiful success on Poshmark and beyond.
I don't know if I'm that, but I'm happy to talk through my notes here. My mom and my aunt, my mom's there, Julia Whitson. She and my aunt kind of talked to me a little bit about Posh just because they shopped Posh. They had never sold on Posh. They had just shopped Posh. And I kind of scoffed at the idea of like having real connection through the screen and shopping online. I was like, what losers? Honestly, shame on me, honestly. But then I watched my very first Posh show, and I'm sure like a bunch of you, once you watch your first Posh show, I was hooked. I was like, this is so cool. Like, I do find connection here. And obviously, I enjoy shopping and I enjoy online shopping. And this is cool. Like, I can see people touch and move the clothes and talk about. So it was just really exciting. And then also part of the ADD, right? You get hyper focused on things. So I was really excited. I got to watch a bunch of different shows. I did a bunch of market research, if you will. That's what I call it, at least. Still doing market research to this day. Here's the shift. So in June and July of last year, I had some mental health challenges, and it took me, this is the part where I need to read my notes. I had some mental health challenges and it took me out of work. So I was out of work for most of June, all of July. And so during that time, I had even more time on my hands to kind of observe and watch and listen. And I paid lots of attention to the sellers that made me feel good and happy and want to hang out in their space. And then obviously I kind of ran into some sellers that I was like, I don't want to be here. I'm going to, swipe on. Maybe some sellers that just like didn't align. And I kind of leaned into the ones that did align with me. And obviously I found this amazing community. I'm an extrovert, so I did a lot of chatting. Hey, I'm new here. This is crazy. This is cool. How's it going? Literally, that's just me. Like what I'm saying over here, I was just typing out of my brain. So, by the end of July, or like the middle to end of July, I definitely started feeling better in like my mental health space, which is good. I'm still on a journey of recovery, but I'm feeling a lot better in that space, and was feeling better then. And I thought, well, why not try it? I feel like I can do this. I thrive on like new experiences, whether it's like new experiences with food, trying new like tasty bites, or new life experiences, things and stuff I've never done before. I also am like a fail fast, fail forward kind of person, right? I'm like, might as well try. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is no one comes to my show, or they do come and they heckle me. And I think I can live through both of those things because of the confidence that my mom like built me up with my whole life. Shout out to mom. I love you. You're the best mom ever. Um, so I was like, okay, I'm going to start August 1st. I'm going to do my very first show. And I just made that my mission. I was preparing a space. A small space. I was smaller than this. I was preparing like my closet. I was pulling stuff out to see what I could sell, what was maybe too big or that I didn't wear. I chatted with my friends and I was like, hey, do you want to do a closet clean out? I need some smalls and mediums. It would be nice to have like a rack that has all sizes. And so then I just went for it. I skipped over. So, around the same time, last year, maybe like first or second quarter, my husband and I lost a major source of income. So we had been social media managers for like a large hotel brand for 5 years, and that contract came to an abrupt end. So it really impacted us financially. So I was also looking for, right? Not only was I like, oh, I want to try this. This seems fun, but I'm like, I could make money doing this. Let's do this. Let me figure out a way to supplement that income that we now no longer have. And so that was also a big pushing and driving factor to kind of jump into Posh and to see if things stuck, if you will. So that's really what like got me into Posh. I do think my first Posh show was Crazy Resell Lady, Amy, who is fun because of my aunt and my mother. Like they watch her. I think my first purchase was Let's Whoop It Up. And I paid way too much for a shirt, like because I was like, lose me. Now I'm okay to lose, you guys. Please fight me. Please fight me so I lose. But yeah, no, I think I paid like $50 for a shirt she was running unlisted. So
here, when you were kind of talking through your story, that there was both like passion and need that got you started. So you love clothes, you love finding these unique goods, you love new experiences. So at this time where you had some time on your hands and you were looking for maybe a bright light, you're like, well, this space is very exciting, a new experience, and I can find things that are pretty. And then with that loss of income, there was also this need of like, okay, well, I can do something that sparks joy and it's going to fill this need for us. So that really helped you. Because starting the first show, hitting start on that first show, I think is the hardest step. And so the fact that you had these two little sparks of joy and need to get you into your first show, I think that is like two keys to success.
No, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the community part, right? Like I did a lot of chatting with people and they're like, oh, I'll show up for you for your first show. Like, you know, like we do right now that we do that on this side of the screen now. I do that for people, knowing where I felt in that moment when somebody says, oh, I'll show up for you, just tag me. Or like, when's your show? I'll bookmark it. And I try to do that for people that are like, oh, I'm doing my first show as much as I can, right? With my other my real life that's going on, I do try to show up for people because I know how much it meant for me. But yeah, the community aspect too really helped drive, right? As I was like, oh, I mean, I can feel that these people are genuine, the people that I've met through the screen, which is crazy to like talk to not posh people about how you can build connections through the screen. They just don't get it until they get it. So,
And you do show up for people, Rena. I think that you have like 30 devices around your house that are just on different Posh shows all the time. Because, man, anytime that there is somebody who is close to Rena, or just anybody who's in the immediate circle, she's always there with butterflies and rainbows and hyping them up. Even if it's just one or two comments, you are everywhere. So it's definitely something that we see you doing.
I try. I know how much it means to me for people to just pop in and say hi, because the way my brain works, really, you can say hi, don't leave me. I'm gonna say this, but don't leave me. Come to my show and stay. But you can come say hi, and the impact that it makes just to say hi, that you took the time to stop by and say hi, is amazing. And I know that other people that are just starting out their first shows feel that when they're like, oh, I saw Rena on the screen, and then she came into my show and said hi and hung out with me for however long, whether it was 5 minutes because I chatted for 5 minutes, or I hung out their full 30-minute, plus show. It means a lot to me, so it's gotta mean something.
I'm glad actually Becca asked that, because you led us up to your first show. You were doing your market research over the summer. August 1st, you had your hard start day. From what it sounds like, you followed through on that and you had your first show. So tell us how it went. How'd the first show end up going?
So the first show was insane. And I want to kind of talk about what I think contributed to that, because I think people were confused on how did that happen, right? Who is this person and why are there 60 people in her first show? This is crazy. First of all, blessed. Thank you, Lord. And thank you, friends, for showing up for me. And like believing in me, and like trusting that what I was typing was my heart, because it was. So thank you so much. But that market research that I talked about, I joke that it's market research, but it really is building connections. And I did a lot of beating the streets. Of course, I had lots of time on my hands because I was out of work. But I spent a lot of time building connection before I expected people to show up for me. Like I spent more than one day in their show. I came back the second time. I chatted them up. I stayed more than 5 minutes in their show, and I got to know them and got to see if I wanted them to come to my first show, right? If I wanted to say, hey, by the way, you're amazing at this. I think I'm going to do my first show. I'm freaking out a little. This is when it's going to be. I know that's in like 2 or 3 weeks, but do you have any advice, right? And I would find the moments where it made sense to ask those questions, not where it didn't. And I think that's difficult to do for some people. But I don't know. I think spending more time with people before you ask them for something is valuable, right? Giving them a little bit of connection and time from you before you expect them to show up for your first show. And I think that's what contributed to the success of the first show. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't have 60 people in my everyday shows now that I do my own shows. But I think everybody was excited, right? And I tried to give that excitement to come to my first show. And I would tell people, I'm a weirdo. I'm like chaotic. I was very transparent. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably going to be flailing around, but it'll be fun to come see me flail around. And so I talked a lot to people before.
I hear two sides of that. Is like, number one, Rena put in the work, and we all have this social contract where it's kind of like you get what you give, right? And so you didn't just turn on the screen and expect people to show up for you when you hadn't given them anything in return. So that's a huge gem of advice, is that if you're just starting out or thinking about starting out, if you're spending time doing your market research anyways, if you find people you like and there's, they're just chatting anyways, say like, hey, I'm new. What's your number one tip? Or, can I tag you in my show? I'd love to have you there. Just being personable, I think, can be helpful. Get your name out there. If you hope for the best and expect the worst, you'll manage your expectations, because truly, a lot of us have 2 to 6 people in our first show and we sell 0 things. And so just know, like, if that happens, cool. I got on, I had some experience, and I'm going to do better next time, or I'm going to keep growing from here. And perhaps you could have a banger of a first show like Rena by following her advice. Talked about the connections that you make and some of the things that had made your first show successful. Kind of the next thing I like to chat about are the pieces of the business that I think a lot of questions come from. And that is sourcing, because you got to get the stuff, setting up, because you can't just turn on the camera. You have to have some sort of flow behind the scenes to know what you're selling and where it's going after. And then you talked a little bit about your on-camera presence, but how you sell things. We could chat about that too. And then the dreaded shipping, which is like, you have all this fun and now you got to ship the stuff. So if we can roll that back, you have such an eye for pieces that are eclectic and they seem one of a kind. So tell us, when you're outsourcing, what are you looking for? Where are you sourcing? When are you sourcing? Give us all your hot tips.
So I'm going to peel the curtain back because I think this is really, really important, and say that, like, I literally don't know anything. I don't have anything figured out, and I am flying by the seat of my pants, and I'm made and making lots of mistakes along the way. Safe mistakes, right? Mistakes that don't, not to my full detriment. Maybe I'm like, oh, shoot, I lost money on that show. I should not do that again.
Yeah.
But I don't have it figured out. And so I don't want people to, like, watch this and be like, I'm going to do exactly what Rena's doing, because I don't know what I am, a little potato. So I'll tell you how I've sourced so far. And maybe this will be helpful. Yeah. I have gone to yard sales. I have made a flyer and posted it at work that says, give me your clothes, right? That's a good hook. It literally just says, give me your clothes. And then there's information below, but it just says, give me your clothes. I'm marketing. I'm like, give me your clothes. And they're like, what's that all about? So, and then I just say, like, I'll pick up the clothes from your house. You don't have to sort through it. Now I'll tell you, that's one of my mistakes, right? It is time consuming to sort through clothes that might be dirty, holes, pilling, et cetera, and so forth. And then I have to spend the time to go donate it. So I'm revamping all the time. I'm like pivoting. I started August of last year. I'm not rolling in the dough. I'm not making lots of money. I'm making lots of mistakes. I'm giving stuff away. I do love giving you guys stuff though. It is fun. But yeah, so yard sales, I ask people for their clothes. I talk to my friends. I literally talk to people at the grocery store about Posh. I'm like, hey, oh, hi. I'm like, yeah, I sell clothes online. At PTA meetings that I don't go to, but church. I've purchased estate sales. I've purchased other Posh sellers out of, stuff that they had hard time selling. So then in the way of, like, pricing, don't have it figured out, right? There are some trains that I go on that I want to put bangers on hangers, and they're not $5 items, but I put them there in hopes that they make more than $5, and they don't, right? And so I'm like, oh, should I have done that? Should I do the same thing next time? So I'm still learning. Every single time I do a Posh show, every time I close, I'm like, okay, what can I learn? What can I pull from that? Thank you so much. I do record my shows, and I started doing it with the audio, which is painful to watch, but it does help me kind of, like, learn from myself and say, wow, I did a lot of talking during that one. Maybe I should not have talked so much. I guess, like, cadence. I think your people are going to find you, right? So you can try to emulate what you feel like has been successful for other people. You can also just do you. But I find it helpful to watch shows, figure out what I like and what I don't like, what keeps me in shows and what takes me out of shows, and then try to emulate that, right? So how often do I show a different item? How often do I share a little bit about myself? How often do I continue to make connection? Because I think it's a balance, and I'm still finding and figuring out that balance, and I definitely don't have it nailed down yet. But I'm trying. I love the yin yang because it's all about balance. And I think that is the biggest and the hardest thing in the whole world to accomplish in all aspects of our life, is finding the balance. And so that's what I'm trying to find in Posh. Like I said, really try to pull and like do or test out, if you will, that it's that fail fast, fail forward thing that I see other people doing that I feel has been successful for them. So I watch Lisa. I think Lisa is amazing. She lists as much as I would like to list. I love that she has a balance in her shows by showing a bunch of amazing unlisted items, but then having a tray full of goodness that she can run. And she's able to kind of talk through what she has in her tray and what she has in her closet. And she can make closet sales at the same time she's making unlisted sales. And that is what I would like to emulate. So I'm feeling very honored and thankful that you wanted me to be on the podcast, because I think so much of you as a businesswoman and as a person. So if you don't follow Lisa on Instagram, please do that. She posts some amazing content and she's really kind. The most recent thing that you posted was just so amazing and it really hit me in my feels, where you talk about it was essentially balance, right? And just being kind to the world. And it was so epic. I hope it was a reel that you get to keep on your Instagram forever.
I appreciate that compliment, especially coming from you. And I hope you know that feeling goes both ways. I watch your shows and I try to emulate you. Of like, you always have such a warm space. You pause to say hello to the people in your room. You have items that truly every item I see you pull off your rack, you are genuinely excited to show. And I have never been in your show and felt like you were upset that something sold for a certain amount of money or didn't sell. You just are like, oh, thank you for looking. Thanks for looking at that one. And you're just always just such a kind space to be. So I think it's such a awesome thing for you to just make that known of, you see that I'm successful and I don't have it all figured out. I feel like I'm failing all of the time. So I appreciate you being kind of vulnerable and just making that known, because it's easy to think like, oh my gosh, she's got it all together. And also sharing the things that do and don't work for you. But you did say that there are some things that you keep you in Posh shows, that make you want to stay, that make you want to chat, and there's some where you're like, maybe not the space for me, and you swipe out. So what are the things that you do like seeing in the shows, and what are the things that you kind of have picked and chosen and tried to throw in? So from the person who runs such a successful show that we all love being in, what are the things that you like to see, or what are a couple things that you have picked out and you try to do in your shows?
So, yeah, I mean, I don't like when people get upset about things that sell for $5 when they're running it for $5. I get sometimes it's hard to hold that back because you're like, ooh, that one stung really hard because I thought it was going to sell for $25 because it was gorgeous. But it doesn't give me the greatest feels because we chose to rent it for $5. Enjoy when people have a good balance of showing enough clothes but also talking. Like, I want to hear about you. I don't want to know your deepest, darkest secrets like I'm going to share with you because I have no filter and I try really hard, but I can't help it. It just cadence is important, right? If you're showing one, and even if that means setting yourself a timer or watching the clock and counting how many clothes you can show in 30 minutes. And I think trains have been really helpful in like finding how many clothes can I show, or like challenging myself, how many items can I still have that connection and talk through, but also show. And so I think setting yourself that mental note, especially when you're starting your first shows, to like have that connection because you're really excited to be on this side of the screen and meeting people and talking to the chat, that sometimes people get lost and they're chatting and they're like, but what do you have to sell? Can I see your clothes? You're really fun, but like, can I see? I might want to give you lots of money for them. So I think like setting yourself a goal of, right, okay, I need to show at least one article of clothing every 3 minutes or every 4 minutes. That doesn't seem crazy, but it also sets you on track to still be able to do the goal. Hopefully your goal is to like sell items, whether it's to clean your house out or to make money. So I do like cadence. It helps a lot for me to stay in a show. Like fun and new items. I think I give myself a hard time if I show something multiple times. And so I really beat myself down if I don't switch out the rack. And I think once again, you don't have to beat yourself down if you're going to show the same thing multiple times, but there does have to be a balance. You can't do a show where you show the same things, same 10 things, and then do 2 more shows where you only show those same 10 things. I think having some sort of switch up, right? So the people that watched you for that full first 2 hours have something to see new for the next 2 hours. Because if they're just seeing all the same things, then they might not stick around for that third show because they're going to know you're showing that same stuff. And I don't mean that to like take the wind out of anybody's sails. I just mean there has to be that balance. Like find something where you can switch it up, even if it means you rotate your rack every other show or every third show. And then tell people that, like, hey, I'm showing the same thing I showed last show, but I'm going to have new items next show. I got a new haul coming, so you don't want to miss it, right? So hopefully that helps.
I hear that this is kind of all going back to balance of you do need to make connections because while people are there to shop, they have many places they could shop and you want to make them shop with you. So showing a bit of your personality, making connection, asking questions to them, that is going to make people want to stay with you or come back and find you. But if you're just talking and sharing and you're not showing any items, then they can't purchase from you. And if they're on Posh Live, they're probably here to shop. So you do need to show some items, some new items at quite a regular cadence. And I pay $6.50 for 5 pounds. I probably want to see quite a good range of items to see how much I could bundle and see how much money I could give you. So yes, you need to have a rotating rack of, if I have 100 items, maybe go through them once or twice and maybe like take a couple off the rack each time for each show. So the people who do like you and who do want to support you can come back and buy new things from you. So that might be like a peace sign, 3 pieces of the puzzle instead of
exactly. We'll put all the peace signs and the yin yangs and the smiley faces together, and I just love it.
You know, getting in front of the camera and showing the things is just kind of that middle of the sandwich. But you have your items that you've sourced from your yard sales or your friends have given to you, and then you are showing them. But maybe you can talk a bit about like, what does your pre-show setup look like? What do you do to get ready? What does your room flow kind of look like that helps you be successful? So tell us kind of what it looks like for you to get set up, and then what does it look like for you to get those items packed up and shipped out?
So setup is chaotic, and I think that's the part where I'm like, full transparency, I don't have it down. What I would like, what my goal is to be able to set up in an hour, 2 hours max, and be like, okay, my rack is set up. I'm going to go and spend time with my family and do other things. And then I can pop back on for whatever hour I'm going to do, or 2 hours, and then do my show. I care a lot about what I show on the rack, and I want it to be perfect. And so I spend a lot of time twiddling my thumbs, having ADHD moments where I'm like, I need to do this thing right now, and really I need to do something else. So I take a long time to get ready for a show. If I have a show on Saturday, I'm like, I can't do anything because I have to get ready for my show. I have to clean the room. I have to take everything off the rack and put everything new, but leave some of the things because those things are really good. So curating a rack takes me a while. I also have multiple places that my inventory is. So I have a storage unit. I have bins in my office, which is not this space. And so I like to go through them and say, okay, I curate the rack each time I have a show. I want to have very size inclusive rack every time. I like to do small, at least all the way through 3X at least. A lot of the times I'll have one size or even 4 or 5X on the rack. Because I want people to be able to pop in the show, no matter what size they are, and say, can you show me what you have in my size? And I don't want to, it's going to happen if somebody comes in my show and they're like, I want 5X. There's going to be days where I don't have it, but I'll hopefully have some multiple one size items that would fit them. Because I know how I would feel if I went into a show and or just went through life and people didn't have an option for me. So that takes a lot of time, right? I want to have 10 sizes of every size. And so what it looks like is chaos. And I know that that is what my husband and my family would tell you as well, is she's just running around going through piles of clothes and saying, okay, take this to the posh room. Okay, take this to the posh room. This is so that's what it looks like now, full transparency. It's not a science. It is crazy. And then I started out with the number system. I didn't start with bins, so I went straight to numbers whenever I did my very first show, which I like. So I don't have to pause to write on boxes. I don't need the space for boxes and or bags. I generally don't have a problem like, oops, I accidentally put that in the wrong person's box or pile, because I have a number on each of the item. And so I just go through my sold items, find each number and put it and package it. Right now, the science to packaging is I say, Michael, can you come help me? And so I sit on the floor and I say, I need 1, 7, and 14. And I am so blessed to have an amazing husband who gets paid in kisses and hugs that will begrudgingly, I mean, what he would rather be doing anything else than handing me 1, 5, and 14 off the rack. But he does, and we make piles, and then I package that way. And before I started asking for help, I would do it all myself, and I would get up and down, up and down, up and down, and each one I would package, and it took me a lot longer. It would take me 5 hours versus now it takes me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So that's the science, is I do numbers. I enjoy the numbers. I try to pack the next day. I can never pack same day because a lot of the time I'm a night show girly because I wait till the boys go to bed. And so I get done late and I'm like, sleepy.
Well, I love that you have support. It sounds like your kiddos understand that mom is doing something and she's busy, and also that you have a wonderful husband who, is able to spend time with the boys while you are prepping for a show, and then also there to help you with your show. I know being by yourself, it can be really overwhelming to do everything on your own, and also to have someone in your life who maybe is like, why are you doing that? That takes too much time. That's silly, or just not supportive can be really difficult too. So I'm glad that you have someone there to support you. So you had said that you curate a rack for every show. So to me, that sounds like you're picking the items that you know that you're going to be happy to show. But Kara had asked, do you find you like doing themed shows?
So I've only done a couple of themed shows, and I think both of them were trains. So I've done a denim themed show, which was fun. And it helped doing the curating and the planning part, right? Because then I literally just looked at everything that was denim and made a pile and then put it on the rack. So yeah, it helps when curating a rack if you're doing a themed show. That's really fun, right? If you're having a hippy dippy show, right? You're literally, your eyes are just searching for everything hippy dippy and you put it on the rack. So it is easier, right? As long as you can find things that fall into that theme. I will say that if you're, in my opinion, watching shows, if your theme is too niche, sometimes it's not as big of a hit as you want it to be. Recently I saw this thrifty home do a Valentine, so it was all pinks and hearts, and it was gorgeous. And yeah. I wanted to buy literally everything. And I think her show was a humongous success. I was there for a little bit. I bought the Delulu sweater. I'm really excited about it. It's a heart and it says Delulu inside. So I think shows like that. And then the infamous AB did another denim show yesterday, and I think is doing one. Yeah, it was so good, right, Sue? I think is doing another one today, and that has been a really big hit. I also think, though, when you're doing those theme show, you have to really lean into advertising those theme shows. You can't do a pop-up for your theme shows because people are not going to know. They're going to think they're going into a regular show, and they're not looking only for denim, unless they're looking for only denim because they're really hyped about the only denim show that you're doing that you told them about several times before you got there. So I think you have to really market yourself when you're doing a heavily themed show. And if you don't, it might not be as a big as a hit as you want it to be. So hopefully that little nugget is helpful.
Again, there's two sides to every coin. I think especially if you're newer or you want people in your show, giving them a reason to come in with a theme is great, right? When you're scrolling on Posh and there's just a million boxes you could click on, what might make somebody click is, oh, denim show, boho show, hippie show, cowgirl show. So that might get them in the door, which I think is the positive. And then the other side of that is like, well, what about the people who aren't looking for that? Or how much of that one particular thing can you purchase? And so I find it's, with all things in life, it's probably best to do a balance. Pros and cons to each one. Like Rena's advice of giving it a try and failing forward. You're never going to know if it's successful if you don't try it. And if you try it and it works, now you have data on what could work for you.
Just finding the balance between niche and like what everybody wants. Everybody usually wants denim. A lot of people love denim, right? People love Valentine's Day, hearts, pink. You can wear them year round. So
yes. And I want to go back to a different question, which kind of speaks to balance in the number system or the box system, which you said you use the number system. Great, faster during the show, pop a number on it, hang it on the rack, you're done. Maybe a little more time after the show because it's not already in the box, but that is traded off for, instead of during the show, I write your name down, I got to stick it on, I got to find your box every time, right? So that's the balance. But maybe you can talk a little bit about how you specifically use your listing for your number system, because Daniela had asked, when you do the numbers, will it automatically pull the numbers when the unlisted flyer is listed? Like, you know, if you just list it with $9.99, does it automatically pull the numbers? Does it reset every show? So kind of how do you use that listing and do
no, that's
system?
A great question. And I had to ask a lot of questions to figure this out. So once again, terrible. I don't know who ultimately told me how to do this, but I'm going to show you really quick. So I have a master unlisted listing. So I went in, I had an image. I think it says, be nice to me, or say, hi, I'm nice. You can have it. And it says master unlisted listing. And then under, so let's just edit this one really quick. I don't know if you can see. So can you guys see? Under category, I have women. Under quantity, I have multiple. That's the most important part. Under quantity, I have multiple. And then under sizes, right? You know how you can do large? I have one large, medium, I have two medium. Well, instead, I go to sizes. I go to, what do? What is it called? Add more sizes, right? And I just made a number one as a size. So a size, the first size is 01, and I have one of those. The second size is 02, and I have one of those. And I did that for 100 items, and it is time consuming. And I recommend you save every 50 times, or 25, right? You do 25, you save it, you post it, and you're like, okay, now let me go edit and add more sizes. Because if it crashes, you have to do 100 more. That's going to be painful. So now, because I have that master, right? Before any train show or before a show, I'll edit that listing. I'll create a copy. I'll change the image to whatever train show flyer I want it to change to, or whatever image I've created. And now all of my numbers are reset. I have one of number one, I have one of number two, etc., and so forth. When you go to run your item, right, you click auction item, all of your sizes will pop up on your screen, 1 through 100. And you'll click 1 and you'll run it for however much you want. When that sells, 1 is no longer available and you have all of the other options available. I hope that makes sense. It's also helpful, right? If I've run number 1, it sells. I run number 2, it sells. And then I look back and I'm running my items again and number 1's available. That's telling me that number 1 didn't go through. So that's helpful also.
Assuming at the beginning to create that master listing, you have to create all custom sizes. And then number two, make sure you make a copy each time, because if you use your master listing, now it's gone and now you got to do that all again. And you got to talk about promoting. Boy, do I love seeing little messages come from Rena on my bundle that she's going live, because you have so many emojis and it's so cute. So Teresa wanted to know, when you are trying to let people know about your upcoming shows, do you send it to past buyers, to shoppers, or bundle? Which group of people are you actually sending your message
So
to?
I think I send to shoppers, which I think is at the bottom, and I think it captures the most people. And I've only had one. So I think I've sent probably a total, since I've gone live, I think I've sent probably a total of 20 or less bundle messages. So from August to now, I think I've sent a total of about 20 or less bundle messages. And I've only ever had one person say, please don't ever do that again. And I said, I'm so sorry. My bad. I'm just trying to make a little bit of dollars. The only way to stop is if you want to like unfollow or block me, they won't come through. But I hope you understand, and that you do come hang out with me and don't block me. And they were nice. They were just like, okay, thank you. I don't know if they thought that I was just sending them directly to them, but when I explained, that I was sending it to everybody just to kind of capture the audience and let everybody know, they were more chill with it. So yeah, I choose shoppers. I think it captures the most people, and I think it's at the bottom. It's cool because it tells you how many people it's sending it out to based on which one you click.
I typically will only use that message if it's like a one-off, like, oh, I'm on this train show, or I'm not going to be live on this day because I have a train this day. So I try to use them sparingly, and it can feel a little overwhelming. So my advice would be to use them when you truly want to bring all the friends to the show.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't have a regular, I would like to, and everybody's telling me I should, and I'm going to. That's my mission for the new year, is to make money and also be more consistent, because I do think consistency works. If I had a regular show, right, I don't think I would send out even a weekly message, unless something was one-off, right? Unless it was like, hey, I'm going live my regular time, but also I have these train shows that I've never been on before. So I do use them very sparingly. I used to send them out every single time I did a train, but now I use my social media pretty heavily to advertise. And I tell people here, hey, follow me on Instagram, right? So that I can capture that without overwhelming the comment or the message space. I think once a week is fine. I think once every other week is even better, because then it kind of allows the excitement to still build, right? Like, oh, I haven't heard from Rena in a while, and she's sending me this bundle message. There's not, so yeah. And definitely only do one a day. Don't do multiple. If you're gonna don't do more than one, and don't do them every day. I don't know. I'm just like, don't do them every day.
If I'm seeing the same name every day or multiple times a day, I'm now blind to that person's messages. So if you do want to catch attention, make sure you're using them sparingly when you truly have something that you want to promote. Yes. And you had talked about promoting train shows. So tell us a little bit about some of the train shows you have coming up.
I have Moo-Moos and mocktails, which I'm an OG on. It's crazy to think about. This one's really exciting. So, but it's okay. So February 6th, Kristen Sellingson City is the conductor. She's amazing. She has done this new thing where it's kind of like a lottery on who is going to be in the show each month, right? So there's some OGs that are in there, but then spots open up, and she posts on her Instagram, and whoever asks to be on the train, it's kind of like she's going to spin a wheel and choose. So keep an eye out, follow Sellingson City, come to the train. This one is so fun. People bring fire items like Johnny was, and Free People and Pole, and amazing items at crazy deals. What I really like about the Moo Moo Choo Choo is we can set our own prices. So we're not kind of stuck in that low start range, but we obviously want to kind of sell to you guys and you guys to be excited. So we do really reasonable starts. So come check it out. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Love it. Before the Moo Moo Choo Choo, I think on the 29th is the theme. Yes, there we go. The theme team. And the next one is the We're Still Standing, which is, I'm so excited, is Elton John themed. So we're all gonna be dressed in our Elton John vests, which I cannot wait. I have my outfit all picked out. If anybody has a Elton John conductor's hat laying around, I'd love one. But I have my outfit all picked out, and it's gonna be epic and amazing. And I do have some like on theme Elton John items. But then there's gonna be like randoms and clothes. It's gonna be so fun, and it's a great lineup.
I feel like has a themed outfit for every show, no matter if it's a train show or a themed show. So truly put a heart on her flyer and just pop in to see what she's wearing. I feel like there needs to be some montage of the outfits that you've worn.
That one's randoms themed. So we are allowing, or they are allowing some. This costs money. We can't do it. Thank you so much. We are allowing some clothes, so it'll be exciting to see the mix of clothes and randoms that happen in that show. So lots of fun shows coming up. I'm excited.
I talked about so much. You had gone through a hard time to get to Posh. Sometimes we do have to go through those dark storms to find your rainbows. And I'm so grateful that you found yourself here in a spot that I can see brings you true joy. You are able to be a light for so many people and then also have this extra way to support your family. It feels like this gift that you've been given that keeps on giving. But I want to give you an opportunity to kind of close us out. If there's anything in conversation or anything that you wrote down in your notes that I didn't get to organically that you want people to know about you or message you want to leave them with.
This is the part where I should have made notes. I guess I'll just reiterate the stuff that I said at the beginning. I really thrive on connection, and I am really genuinely excited. I unfortunately am unedited and wear everything all right here on my forehead, and so sometimes I just say what it's ever on my mind, and I hope that it's love and kindness that always comes out, because that is what is at the core of me. I really want people to feel happy and as worthy as they are in the world, embraced. I would love to really embrace you guys. I am a hugger, but as embraced as you can feel through the screen. And so if you're feeling down, or you're feeling low, or you're feeling like there's no like light at the end of the tunnel, just know that there is. And sometimes it just takes a friend to kind of clean off those glasses. And so if you need a friend and you're like, if you don't want it to be me, if you just want a phone number, I can give you a phone number to call. But I'm happy to be that friend in the capacity that I can be. So please reach out to me, whether it's here on Posh or on Instagram. Because it
is Rena Solanci on Posh. It is Rena911 on Instagram, and it is also Rena911 on Whatnot. So give us your 5-second Whatnot pitch so we can find you there and know what we're going to see there
so
too.
Whatnot's awesome. You guys definitely come over there. If you want a free $15, hit me up on Instagram at Rena911 and I'll give you a free $15 to spend with me if you've never been there before. What's really cool about Whatnot is you can fill your tray and or bin, just like there's a tray over here, with items. And if you can't stay in the show, let's say you pop in, you see some things, you can pre-bid on items. So let's say I have something in my tray and it's listed for $5 and it's this amazing epic item, and you're like, I know that I would spend at least $15 on that item, but I wouldn't spend more than that, but I also have to run or I have to get in the shower. You can click a button, you can pre-bid $15 for that item, and when it starts to run, not only do you get notified, but if nobody bids it up to $15, let's say it only gets bid up to $6, you win the item for $6 because you pre-bid on that item. So you kind of have that option. And it's amazing. It's so fun. I really enjoy it. It's speedy over there, but because I'm in charge as the seller and the person behind the screen, I have to keep reminding myself, but hey, wait, who's speeding me up besides me? So I kind of try to hold the same cadence as I do over in Posh. Sometimes I find myself like trying to go extra fast and I'm like, okay, hold on, slow down. But it's really fun. So I'd love to see you guys over there too. It's really fun to see similar names, or like for you guys to pop in over there and say, hey, she's Kara. And I'm like, oh, hey, Kara. Especially when you guys have different names. So definitely say, hey, I'm who I am.
My favorite part of Whatnot is that you can custom bid but just like Rena said, the custom bid doesn't custom bid. So I can put in like a $50, I forget what it's called, like cap if I really want the item. And so even if people are swiping, even on sudden death, I still win if it doesn't meet my cap. And if it goes over my cap, it doesn't bid. Like, the only thing I don't like about Posh is like when you custom bid, it goes all the way up, which is great to support friends. But if I only had to pay $15, I don't want to pay $37.
Exactly, right. So where you custom bid on Posh, you say, I'm going to pay $15, boom, you're automatically to 15. Like Lisa said, right? You custom bid, people are swiping. Oh, they stopped swiping at 15. You want it for 15, even though you said you would have paid 50. It's amazing.
And you are amazing, Rena. I appreciate that. Again, you are generous with your time. You are generous with your information. It was so wonderful to have this face-to-face time with you. I've loved always seeing your face on screen. I try to catch your shows anytime I can. I'm an early to bed baby, and you're a get on late baby. So we kind of miss each other sometimes. So what a pleasure and a blessing to be able to have this time with you. Thank you for allowing me to have it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I can't say thank you enough. And if I left anything out, just know that my heart is telling you thank you a million ways. I really appreciate just your friendship, your kindness, your advice. It just coming into my shows, I don't know, wanting me to be in your show. So thank you so much.
But again, thank you guys for being here on the Posh Podcast. This one will be on YouTube, so find us on YouTube within about a week and catch the new Posh Podcast or old Posh Podcast there. The next one I have is with Selling Sin City, which is the owner of the Moo Moo Choo Choo. So she will be next week, Tuesday, and you can find the whole lineup. We got lots of friends coming up. So thank y'all for being here. Let's